Hello and welcome to Shorts in Psychology. In this video, we're going to explore the concepts of contiguity and contingency in different types of learning. We'll start by looking at their general definitions and then apply them specifically to classical and operant conditioning. I've linked my classical and operant conditioning videos in the description below in case you want to brush up on these types of learning first. Let's get into it. In simple terms, contiguity refers to a time interval between two events. What those two events are depends on the type of learning. In classical conditioning, contiguity refers to the time interval between the presentation of the unconditioned and conditioned stimuli. Learning will only occur if these events occur relatively close together in time, so a closer pairing between the two stimuli will result in the best conditioned response. Best conditioned response means that the learner will become classically conditioned more rapidly and that the association between the two stimuli will be stronger. In operant conditioning, contiguity refers to the time interval between the behaviour and its consequence, whether that is receiving reinforcement or punishment. This time interval between the behaviour and consequence should be short so that the learner knows exactly what behaviour is being reinforced or punished. When used in a learning context, the term contingency means conditional. One event occurring, whether it is a stimulus or a consequence, is contingent or conditional upon another event occurring first. In classical conditioning, contingency is established between the unconditioned and conditioned stimuli, and this is established by repeatedly presenting the two stimuli together close in time. Over time, the learner will believe that the appearance of the unconditioned stimulus is dependent or contingent on the presentation of the conditioned stimulus. Another way of putting it is that the appearance of the conditioned stimulus predicts the appearance of the unconditioned stimulus. To help you understand this concept better, let's look at it in the context of an example, the Little Albert experiment conducted by John Watson and Rosalie Rayner. Little Albert was a baby who was naturally afraid of a loud noise, so the loud noise is the unconditioned stimulus, as it elicits an automatic reflexive response in Albert, crying, that doesn't have to be taught. So Little Albert's crying is the unconditioned response. In Watson and Rayner's experiment, they showed Little Albert a white rat, which was immediately followed by the loud noise. As before, Little Albert became afraid and upset at the loud noise. In order to classically condition Little Albert to associate the white rat with the loud noise, these two stimuli were repeatedly presented together close in time, contiguity. As a result, Little Albert began to believe that the appearance of the loud noise was dependent or contingent on the white rat. In other words, whenever Little Albert saw the white rat, he believed it predicted that a loud noise was coming. Because contingency had been established in the classically conditioned Little Albert, he believed that the rat predicted the appearance of a loud noise. This means that whenever he saw the white rat, he would become afraid and upset due to his expectation that there was about to be a loud noise. In operant conditioning, contingency still means conditional or dependent. In this case, it is that the consequence is dependent or contingent upon the behaviour being performed. Therefore, the learner believes that to receive reinforcement, they have to perform the desired behaviour. And similarly, they will only experience punishment if they perform the undesired behaviour. Let's finish by looking at a past exam question. Pause the video to read through the scenario. This question is asking about the concept of contiguity, which we now know is the time interval between the two stimuli. In this scenario, the unconditioned stimulus is the puff of air, as it elicits a reflexive and automatic blinking response. The conditioned stimulus is the pencil tapping. Therefore, we could answer this question by explaining how in this experiment, the tapping sound must be followed very quickly by the puff of air, so that an association is made between the tapping and the puff of air. A brief time between these two stimuli increases the strength of the association. Hopefully, this has clarified your understanding of contiguity and contingency in both classical and operant conditioning. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time for another Shorts in Psychology.